Hey, what's going on? JP here, JP's World of Wrestling. And in the recording of this, it is Tuesday, December 26th, which means yesterday was Christmas. And I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. I know that I did. Um, I got to spend the whole day with my beautiful, wonderful wife and her parents, and it was a good day, really good day. I got a lot of really cool stuff, and I'm gonna show I'm gonna show you my Christmas haul right now. And now this is just the box. I've already taken the item out. And anyway, but I got me a Soda Stream. That's right. The Soda Stream, this is a Gaia, or a Gaia, whatever. But that's something that was on my list of things that I wanted. I'm a really big fan of the Soda Stream. I have one that doesn't work very well. It's kind of broken. One of the gaskets is broken, so the water shoots out everywhere. And then I used to have one back when I lived in Oregon, but I didn't bring it with me when I moved out here to Missouri, and I miss it. I really like the Soda Stream, so I asked for another one, and I got it. And another thing is this t-shirt I'm wearing, this Back to the Future Marty McFly t-shirt. As you can see in my poster back there. I'm going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later on in this video. But I move on. Another thing I got was this hat. It says Thrive Church. That's actually where I attend church services. And our church sells hats and shirts and sweatshirts and stuff. And they sell swag. And that's because the profit that they make from these allows the church not only to keep the lights on, but also to minister to the surrounding community and really be, a beacon of light in people that are maybe a little bit less fortunate. So that's why my church sells things like this, so that they can earn money in order to be able to do that. So another thing I got is another shirt, but I'll show it to you. It says, "Need an ark? I know a guy." Get it? Noah, as in Noah from the book of Genesis. But anyway, it's kind of a silly shirt that I like, that I asked for, that I got. And so another thing I got, and this is actually going to affect this channel, because this is something that I have needed for a while, and this is going to make things so much better for this channel going forward. But it is a desktop and overhead phone stand with a light ring. And this is actually what I need, because it, like you can see, it's got more than one place to hold a camera. So if I wanted to do multiple camera angles, I can. I'm not necessarily sure how that works, but maybe in the future. Who knows? So, and then plus I got a bunch of candy and treats and gift cards and stuff. But here's something else that I got that is actually really cool. Babylon 5, the Road Home. This is an animated movie. Now, I'm a big fan of the Babylon 5 series. I'm a science fiction guy, so I'm a big fan of Babylon 5. And Babylon 5 was a series in the 90s, but I always thought it was really, really good, because the story is so good that you forget that you're watching a science fiction show. At least I always did. And actually, Babylon 5 was actually originally supposed to come out before Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And what happened was the producers decided to go with Star Trek Deep Space Nine rather than Babylon 5, even though Babylon 5 was supposed to be the show that got picked up. Even though both shows have kind of the same premise, aboard the space station with a whole bunch of different types of worlds that are in a neutral area, where, supposed to be kind of like a intergalactic kind of UN type of thing, to kind of try to bring peace. Anyway, I'm rambling, I know, but anyway, this is an animated movie the actors that are still alive that were on the original series reprise their roles in this movie. And for the actors that are not alive anymore, they get actors to fill the gaps for the actors that are no longer with us. And I haven't seen it yet, but it's supposed to be really good. And they're supposed to be rebooting the show at some point. They just have to get a TV network to, to say, hey, we want that on our network, and so then they'll have the green light. But anyway, Babylon 5, The Road Home, Blu-ray. And so this last thing I'm going to show you is actually really cool. It's more of the modern era wrestling. But like I've said in a recent video, I'm actually starting to get back into the modern wrestling, get back into it, because now that Vince McMahon is no longer in the picture and he's no longer in charge of any kind of creative, they're actually starting to go in directions that I actually like. And the last time I watched Monday Night Raw and SmackDown both, I actually really enjoyed it. So anyway, this is WrestleMania Monopoly. This is actually a gift from my beautiful, wonderful wife, Stephanie. Thank you. Thanks, hon. I love you. Anyway, sorry. I had to give her a little hug there because she doesn't really like being on camera unless she's made up or whatever. But anyway, she's not here anyway, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, yeah, WrestleMania Monopoly. This is one of the gifts I got from my wife. The other two gifts I got from my wife is this hat and the phone stand. So, and of course my mother sent me some money, and apparently one of my cousins is supposed to be sending me something. I don't know. But if that doesn't happen, it doesn't really matter, So anyway, that's my Christmas haul. Overall, it was pretty good. And I got a gift card for Amazon. And so I bought 2 shirts on Amazon. One of them is a Razor Ramon t-shirt, which I'll show you when I get that. And the other one is a Striper t-shirt. Christian rock and roll band Striper that I personally am a fan of. Anyway, so there's going to be a few changes to the channel. Nothing real bad, nothing real extravagant, but hopefully with this phone stand, I can actually start bringing back some wrestling figure matches. And that'll be fun. It'll be fun trying to set that up and see if it works. And also, I'm going to try to expand a little bit and stick with mostly just wrestling, but also I want to do some videos that have nothing to do with wrestling. Like I'd like to do a Back to the Future segment because I'm a big fan of the Back to the Future films. My friend Joe, who's been on the channel before, he actually got me all of the Rocky films on Blu-ray, which I just have to go out and pick it up at some point, but I'm going to wait until I can go out and pick those up. Because, I saw him just like last week, and it was really good to see him because he's gone through some really tough times lately with a pretty significant loss in his life. But anyway, so I'll be sure to show those too, and I'll talk about those movies. But yeah, I just, I want to expand and talk about my other interest outside of wrestling. And for most of you who watch this channel, a lot of you will have kind of some of the same interests, like Back to the Future and the Rocky movies or whatever, various action movies. Since Christmas, we just had Christmas, I might talk about some of my favorite Christmas movies. So anyway, yeah, and I'm kind of toying with the idea of maybe starting to collect modern figures. The reason why I haven't collected modern figures before is just because if I'm playing with them, they're too articulated, and you have to worry about posing it. But honestly, if I'm just collecting them, who cares, And they actually really look cool. The new figures look cool. It's just from a practical standpoint, when I was a kid, I would have been frustrated to play with those. But then again, going back on that, at one point I had a whole lot of the Mattel figures because my first wife, before she died, kept buying them for me. She kept bringing them home because she worked at a department store that sold them. So she kept bringing them home to me. So she enjoyed it, actually, when I would have wrestling matches in front of her. She liked to watch me play with my wrestlers. So, and I actually got to a point where I was actually kind of used to the articulation. What I did was I didn't over-articulate them. I just did basic things with them. It did sometimes still get a little frustrating when the foot would kind of move in a wonky direction and the hand kept moving in a wonky direction. But, it is what it is. And that's just the age we live in. Not just wrestling figures, all action figures are overly articulated. I mean, I say overly, but that's because I grew up in a generation where we didn't need articulation. We had elbow joints and the one leg joint. Like, that was all the articulation we needed. And in the case of the WCW Galoob figures or the WWF Hasbro figures, we didn't need any articulation at all. We just used our imagination. But, we live in a different age, and kids today, they got to have the fully posable action figures. So, I am toying with that because a lot of times I go to these Comic-Cons or these antique stores and I do find WWE action figures, but they're all like the Mattel modern figures. And so before I was like, nah, I don't really want those. But, I don't. Honestly, if I collect those, it's actually a lot cheaper than trying to go back and trying to collect some of the old Hasbro. Some of those Hasbros are really expensive, as well as some of the LJNs. They're kind of expensive. And honestly, a lot of the Hasbro style independent figures, those are getting kind of expensive, like the Zombie Saber toys, the Hastel toys. Those figures, they're really cool. All of them are just really awesome looking. They all look amazing. And I would love to, purchase them and get them and show them to you and review them. But I just, my funds are limited. I've got bills to pay. Maybe sometime in the future. My job currently is technically part-time. But as soon as it goes full-time, maybe I'll have a little bit more money I can play with. But for now, I'm just paying bills. So, I didn't mean to ramble on and get into my personal life. But it is what it is. But anyway, that's kind of where things stand right now. There's nothing too dramatic. I'm still going to continue to do videos. But I'm probably going to do less videos that are long-winded reviews of past pay-per-views. Because I go back and look at the last couple ones I did about the WrestleManias, and I don't know. They're kind of long-winded because you all remember what happened. I don't really need to tell you what happened. You all remember what happened. So I'll just, if I do more WrestleManias or more pay-per-views, I'll probably just give kind of a quicker, kind of more of a gist of the event, kind of what I thought about it, and maybe a quick rundown of the storyline for the main event or something. So anyway, so next year kind of is when I'm probably going to start all that. I might do a couple before the end of this year, like in the next week or so. I might re-review some of the WCW Galoob figures. And since my Hasbro collection has expanded a little bit, I might go back and we might re-look at some of those. So that'll be fun. And so that's where it stands. Again, hope you all had a really wonderful, beautiful Christmas. I know I did. And so that's going to do it for this video. So if you are new here, if you're watching this and you kind of dig what you're seeing, usually we have a lot more fun, but this is kind of just an update and showing you my Christmas haul. But anyway, if you're new here, go ahead and like the video. Please subscribe to this channel if you like, and I will see you next time.